The first one, because that's the one that went in 1976, and it was the first one. It took 2 years. It landed on the surface of Mars, and then there was an orbital vehicle going around Mars, and it transmitted to the orbital vehicle and then back to Earth. It took almost a year for the data to go back to Earth, and then it was reconstructed.
What was your specific job in this Viking team?
I was a safety engineer, and my job was to make sure that the camera system developed by all the engineers was safe and that it would work when it was supposed to work, because if it didn't, then the entire mission would be a failure. The mission of not only losing the camera system, but also all of the hard work by all of the engineers and to deliver the system to the surface of Mars. And I analyzed all of the components and that went into the camera to make sure that there were high reliability, and made sure that the designs were such that there would be no such thing as a primary failure during the mission to Mars. And if there was, it would be a secondary, it would still record, but it'll be in a more of a degradation recording.
So when the Viking went to Mars, do you feel really proud of yourself? Was it a big moment for you?
I did, because I got a picture in my home showing the surface of Mars, and I think the Viking camera there, and then they told me that our name was on the camera. I'm not too sure, but I think they said that. It was good. It was quite an achievement.
If you were to work on a project all over again, was there anything that you would have changed, or anything you think the project could have done better in the future?
Not really, because at that time, everything was film-based. So digital photography was just coming into being, and our competitors, we were strong in film-based. This was our first digital camera, but we had competitors who were competing against us for the digital end to give you real-time photography.
And this is kind of related. If you were to compare the technology of that time period to the technology they would use today, was there anything different in the process?
Well, didn't have much of a computer. I think our computer at that time was the Wang computer, and there was really no cell phones. The technology today is way more advanced than at that time period. Like when I went to college, I used the slide rule. Imagine a slide rule. That is, the slide rule going back and forth, all approximations. That's the way it was.
And what did the Viking mission have? Did it have an effect on everyday Americans, and did it shape anyone's life in any way?
Well, it had an effect in the fact that we were working with state-of-the-art materials, state-of-the-art components, and it was more or less like on the missiles, to put a vehicle into space, you had to do designs such as the miniaturization, new concepts, new designs.